Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. I am here tonight on Monday night. It's our typical Monday night live on Facebook, and that's Monday, May 8th, 2023. And welcome if you were just joining me on Facebook Live. And I'm also co-recording a second camera for YouTube where I cross-post. So if you see me looking up and down, that is why, because I'm operating two cameras so that I can have the wide angle lens that YouTubers really love. So welcome. And we are going over This Week in Astrology here on Monday, May 8th. I'm live on my Astrology Updates by Gretchen Heidel page on Monday, every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So adjust accordingly to your time zone, if you're Central Time or Mountain Time or Pacific Time, minus it from the 8 p.m. Eastern time. So yes, hello, welcome. So if you were just joining me on Facebook, go ahead and post below your astrological sign and where you're tuning in from, what part of the world. We have an international audience now, so welcome. Hello, Rita in Virgo in Colorado. Yes, welcome. And I see all those likes and those thumbs ups. I love that because that gets the algorithm rolling. So please don't be shy. Go ahead and post below your astrological sign. I love to hear everybody's sign. We have a slightly quieter week this week than last week. Last week, as you know, I could have kept going on because there was so much astrological energy. And I'm just going to review that energy from last week because some of it is still active right now so that we can kind of know what we're dealing with, where are we coming from, and then where are we headed and where are we going this week. Hey, Michelle Lee, Leo from Vermont here. Welcome. Almir, Taurus from Vermont. Welcome. Almost your birthday. Almir, almost. I remember you said it's in a couple weeks more. So last week in astrology, last few weeks, we've just had a barrage of energy. So if anybody is feeling a little tired, somewhat dizzy, lightheaded, a little headachy, maybe sleeping too much or maybe sleeping not enough, all those things are signs and symptoms that we have a big onslaught of energy going on right now. So we just had two eclipses in a row that started back in April, on April 20th. 2023, we had a solar eclipse, and then we had a lunar eclipse last week on Friday. When was that? Gosh, it feels like it was already 100 years ago, and it was just Friday on May 5th. 2023. So that was a lunar eclipse that happened back then. Yes, Wendy. Hello, Wendy, Sun in Virgo. Scorpio Sun, Virgo rising. Sorry, I misread that. Yes, Rita said, I have all of that. Robin, Gemini here in Vermont. Welcome. Thanks for joining the broadcast. And so we had these two eclipses, the pair of eclipses. We're still in the eclipse portal for sure. I mean, that just took place on Friday, but we're still feeling the effects of it. And it is said, whatever happens during eclipses, that it is an opening to the next 6 months of our life. So eclipse energy can sort of linger and hang around for a while. So a lot of people get confused about that because they think about it pinpointed, like on Friday that had to happen, but no, it's a whole really what we call eclipse portal that happens where there's a big portal of energy that's open, and oh my gosh, it's a lot. It's a lot of energy. So that solar eclipse took place. That was basically solar eclipse was basically in Aries, and then we have the full moon eclipse, which was the P numeral eclipse in Scorpio. So we had Aries and Scorpio. They're just lighthearted signs, not. So Aries is pretty intense. Scorpio is pretty intense. We have a lot of intense energy going on. Hey, Terry, welcome from New York, Aquarius, welcome. Melinda, hello, Sun in Capricorn, Moon in Cancer, Scorpio rising. I love when you know your big three. That's awesome. Melinda and from Vermont also. So we have a lot of that energy that's still active. And then the ruler of Scorpio, which is Pluto, went retrograde last Monday on May 1st. So now we are in Pluto retrograde, and also we're in Mercury retrograde. So we have Pluto retrograde, we have Mercury retrograde, we have all the retrogrades going. And so it's a lot of energy that's retrograde. And so, it's kind of confusing, I guess, and it's a little mixed up, and it's all over the place. So if you're feeling, like I said, any of those physical symptoms of feeling lightheaded or dizzy or sleeping too much or sleeping not enough or eating too much or eating not enough, and like whatever, those can be, now obviously, if you're having medical condition, go see your doctor, but a lot of times these big planetary energies, when we have the onslaught, or the download is what I call it, there's a lot of those energies. And so people think they're weird, or they're, oh gosh, but you're not. It's just, that's basically what happens during these big energies. So like I said, this week is a little quieter, and all the asteroids were shifting too. It wasn't even just all the major, planets, planetary things, with the 2 eclipses, the 2 retrogrades, and also entering into Taurus season. Then we had Juno had moved into Gemini. We had Pallas Athena moved into Leo. And then we even had Ceres turn direct. So those are 3 asteroids that were even kind of, in the mix, or in all of this. And so it's just a lot of energy all at once. Now, we're a little quieter this week. In fact, we had so much energy to go over last week. And just in case you're a new viewer, if you're a new viewer, welcome, you're awesome. And if you're a loyal follower and you've been joining on Monday night, the Monday night club or the Monday night group, welcome and thank you for coming and continue to support this work. Andrea said, yep. Rosalie, good evening, Rosalie. Capricorn in Burlington. Andrea, Aries in Vermont. Welcome. And Liz, oh yes, you're an Aquarius too. We have a lot of Aquariuses I'm noticing on there. And so what I did was I saved one of the big planetary things that happened just yesterday. I saved to go over this week because there was just so much energy last week. It was like information overload. It was just too much. So this week in astrology, one of the big things that happened is yesterday on Sunday, Venus moved into the astrological sign of Cancer. Cancer, the sign of home and family. And so Venus moved into Cancer. And so basically Venus is in Cancer now for a month, all the way until June 5th. I can't believe I'm saying June already, 2023. And so it's basically a month. Venus is in each sign for roughly about a month. So every month she shifts and she goes into a new sign. Now, I keep telling you, I've been talking about this all year. In the summer, like more towards like around the end of July, she's going to be going retrograde. So Venus is moving fast. So she's all the way in Cancer. She started Cancer already. We're still in Taurus. We had Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer's next. So she's moving at a very fast pace. And so Venus in Cancer is all about home and family and the feels, okay? So if anybody has Cancer in their astrological chart, which we all do, but what I mean is planets, like your sun, your moon, your rising sign, your Venus sign. If you're Venus in Cancer, raise your hand. Mars in Cancer. Rita from Colorado has Mars in Cancer, I know. And so if you have any kind of Cancerian energy in your astrological chart, we will be feeling this even more. And so Venus moving into Cancer, Cancer is a water sign. It's about feelings. It's about being empathetic. It's about being sympathetic. It's all the feeling words. It's all about feeling. Because whenever I do someone's personal astrological chart, I always talk about how each and every each and every astrological sign is powered by a planet, okay? And so the Cancer is powered by the moon. And so having Venus in Cancer means that this is a moon Venus kind of deliciousness, basically. Venus is very at home in the astrological sign of Cancer. Cancer is sentimental, it's home and family, it's feelings. And so right now, we're going to be wanting and craving romantic connection. Venus is our romantic connection. It is also sort of like how we love in general. It's kind of like our love language. I would definitely say Venus and Cancer, love language is food. For sure. Hashtag food. And so It's also secondarily kind of like our finances and how we do manage our money. Venus can be quite expensive. If you think about, Venus was actually Aphrodite in Greek mythology. In Roman mythology, she's Venus. And so we're talking about that, the goddess of love and beauty here. And so when we think of Aphrodite or Venus, we're thinking about, she's expensive. She likes nice things. She likes sparkly things. She likes things that are pretty, artwork and all of that. That is also Venus in Cancer that we're going to be talking about. And that's beautifying the home. Because if you think about Venus is beautification and Cancer's home and family. Now, also, this is about being very comfortable in our home. So we just moved out of Venus being in Gemini. Gemini is all about the flirt and all about all the different, kind of things. That's what Venus in Gemini is all about. And so, it was a very much more extroverted Venus sign where we were supposed to be out and, and kind of getting on our cell phones and talking to people and being more extroverted and more geared towards connection. Now we want to bring these people home. We want to take them home to meet our family, and we want to spend time in our home. We want to Netflix and chill. We want to do all that lovely Venus and Cancer stuff. It is a very intuitive, Venus sign. So no shenanigans in the romantic department, because we will be able to sniff that out a mile away, if there's any kind of stuff that goes on. And so that can be a very, something that is very active right now. Now, if you're single out there, anybody single out there looking, Andrea said, I've been decorating my home, and Andrea has Cancer rising sign. Robin has her Mercury and rising sign in Cancer also. So yeah, so any beautification about our home, even our businesses or our cars, anywhere where we kind of consider like our little domain, so to speak, can be stand to have some beautification and all that. I know when I posted about this yesterday on my astrological page, and by the way, if you don't follow me on Astrology Updates by Gretchen Heidel on Facebook. That's where I am live every Monday night. And then I co-record and post the after recording onto YouTube. So Dodie said, hey, Pisces in Vermont. Yeah, welcome. And so, yeah, so this is also a very sentimental. Now, we have Mercury's retrograde right now. And being sentimental and having Venus in this sentimental sign is all about thinking about the past. Okay, what happened, exes, maybe past lovers, past relationships, all that kind of stuff can be very related to past, because Cancer is very related to nostalgia. Remember the archetype, and the ancients kind of gave all of the signs these little symbols, right? And the symbol for Cancer is the crab. So think about holding on to something, right? Is the crab. Now, a lot of Cancers I know are pretty frugal. They like to hold on to their money. A lot of crabs like to hold on to their money financially. I know a lot of Cancers that can be quite frugal, maybe even miserly, okay? And so that's the crab. And I always say, if you want to hold on to grandma's dishes or old photographs or family heirlooms, that is fine. You go for that. But if you're holding on to something that's unhealthy or the past, that's why Cancer can also be holding on to grudges, because we're holding on to things with that crab. Those crabs pinch you. I grew up at the Jersey Shore, and boy, man, those little crabs, they get your toe, and you got to literally kick them off, because you can't get them off of you. So those crabs can pinch us. Now, crabs mostly want to stay underneath the rock and underneath the seashells, and so this could be a secret crush when we're talking about Cancer in Venus, Venus in Cancer. We're talking about maybe secret. We're playing things on the down low or behind the scenes or a little bit away from the public eye, and that can also be Venus in Cancer. It's about having the crush kind of secretly, and that can be a thing too during Cancer season. If you think of the crabs don't walk directly. They kind of go from one end and they kind of indirectly. So a lot of Cancers do that. They sort of beat around the bush and they kind of, like, kind of, do you want to maybe, I mean, do you like popcorn? Would you like to maybe, I don't know, go to the movies? You know, I mean, that's, so that can be very Cancerian too. And so it's definitely a season where we're going to be a little bit shy, a little bit more nostalgic, a little bit more sensitive, a little bit intuitive too, like I said. And this is all about the cuddles. We want to have cuddle time. Cancer is all about the cuddles, okay? So, and really, if you know a Cancer in your life, or maybe you are a Cancer, a lot of people are saying they have moon in Cancer, or rising in Cancer, and all that in the show notes. Then you will know. I mean, a lot of Cancers can be private. Remember, the crab also has a shell, right? And so it's about being private and being kind of like behind the scenes. But when Cancers open up to you, oh my gosh, they can just open up. And they really, like I always say, if a Cancer opens up to you, shut your mouth and just listen, okay? Because they're on, you know, they're on a rare time when they like really want to expose their feelings. Because crabs are delicious, okay? A lot of animals eat crabs, okay? Us humans eat crabs. I don't, I'm a vegan, but a lot of animals on this planet eat crabs. So crabs are protective, self-protective. And so opening up and exposing and being so vulnerable is not a crab-like thing to do. It's a very, you know, crabs only secretly change shells. If you, when I was a kid, we used to have those pet hermit crabs, you know, and you would hardly ever catch them, you know, changing their shell from one shell to another. They tend to do that in secret because they know it's a time they're vulnerable. So when you think about Venus and Cancer, that definitely can be, you know, us wanting so badly to connect and wanting so badly to be vulnerable, and yet having problems. And so that's the conundrum, especially if you have Venus in Cancer yourself. You'll know this might speak to sometimes how you feel, or even if you have Mars in Cancer, Moon in Cancer, whatever planets there, that there's times when you want to come, you know, be open and free, and there's other times when you want to be closed and sort of secretive or like kind of walled off. And that's definitely Venus in Cancer. So if you are Venus in Cancer, or if you have Venus in Capricorn, you will feel this because Capricorn and Cancer are opposite of each other. So you'll have the Venus opposition in your astrological chart. Or if you have Venus in Aries or Venus in Libra, you will definitely feel a little bit, okay, of this sort of energy. Now, Venus pretty much is a mild planet. In astrology, we consider her to be very beneficial and very positive. So even Venus stressors can sometimes not be super stressful. With the exception of like if like Pluto gets involved or some other thing, and then that can be a little bit stressful. But mostly Venus things are very lovely and wonderful. Now, if you are in a relationship and betrothed to somebody during this time, this is about doing, like I said, home improvement projects together, maybe going to the garden center together or Lowe's or Home Depot or something. And that would be good. Yeah. And I should say this, somebody put Venus in Pisces. Yay. Venus in Pisces, or even if you have Venus in Scorpio, because they're the water signs. Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer are all water signs. So you might feel increasingly sensitive and into your feelings. Water, the element of water is all about feelings and emotions. With one, I want to say this, since there's a lot of Aquarians watching, a lot of people think Aquarius is a water sign, but it's not. It's an air sign. The confusion comes because they gave Aquarius the water bearer title, which is a person with jugs of water. Okay, but that's different. It's not a water sign. It's actually an air sign. So that's a thing. So we have that lovely Venus kind of thing that's going to be happening, new Venus cycle. And so it's all about the crab baby, and it's all about home and family, and really we want to be comfortable with our love, you know, during this time. So if you found a mate, if you found a partner, you might be thinking domestic bliss and let's move in together or some kind of thing. I want to buy a house, or do you want to buy an RV and go around town, or whatever it is that you want to do. if you already have a partner in your life. Now, if you're single and looking, going to beaches, going to barbecues, going to any kind of gathering like that, weddings, all kinds of things. You want to think about going to where families, groups of people are kind of hang out, because maybe somebody brings a friend, and it might be good to play it close to home, in your little town, your little neighborhood. And so that's all good. Now, remember, we are still holding off until Mercury is no longer retrograde. We are still holding off until Mother's Day, which ends next Sunday night on the 14th is when Mercury retrograde ends. And so so it's something that we will have. And I think Venus in Cancer is a lovely energy. Like I said, Venus is very comfortable in Cancer, home and family signs. So, and this can also, it doesn't have to just be romantic love too. This is showing love for the family. Somebody posted, and the chat moved, but they said that Cancer is in their 4th house of home and family. So if you have any planets in the 4th house of home and family, not only if you have Cancer, as far as like moon or Venus or whatever in your chart, but you'll also feel this if you have a lot of 4th house placements. 4th house is the natural house of Cancer in your chart. So anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just something that if you know your astrological sign, or if you know Cancers or whatever, it's always good to, and make sure you like this post, make sure you comment below what your astrological sign is. If you're just joining, welcome. And so that happened yesterday on Sunday, May 7th at 10:25 a.m. Eastern time, so Sunday morning. And then, like I said, it's going to be active all the way until June 5th. And when the next sign is when Venus moves into Leo. Now, she's getting into position because she's gonna go retrograde in Leo. So Venus is gonna be in Leo for a long time. I'm not ready yet to do the broadcast about the Venus retrograde, but just so you know, she's getting ready to get into that position. Venus in Leo, we're gonna have a really long, extra super long. I told you, usually every month Venus changes signs. Well, she's not gonna change signs for several months. Okay, so she's going to be in Leo, and once she's in Leo, she's going to be there for a while. So because like I said, she's going retrograde this year. She only goes retrograde roughly every year and a half, so this is kind of not very common. And in the fall, there is a hot spot in the fall. I believe it's in September, and I have to look again, but where Venus and Mercury is going to be retrograde at the same time. So I keep telling everybody about August, September. It's going to be like kind of, not so much fun astrology wise. Now, this week, we don't have too many big planetary things happening. One of the things, I guess, that's big news is tomorrow on Tuesday, May 9th, the sun is going to form a conjunction with Uranus. Now, this happens every year. It's once a year where the sun and Uranus come together, okay? And that's basically, Wendy said, like my love life, not very common. That's really funny. And so we have the sun and Uranus coming together in Taurus, okay? And that's going to be happening tomorrow on May 9th at 3:56 p.m. Eastern time, so 12:56 p.m. Pacific time. And so that's going to be happening where they are going to be lining up together in Taurus, sun conjunct Uranus. And so that means that our nerves could be a little bit on edge. Some people might be on edge right now. Uranus, is nicknamed the Great Awakener. It's also nicknamed the Wild Card. It's also a destabilizer, not a stabilizer, a destabilizer. So that means that things can kind of go wonky. Now, we are already in Mercury retrograde. So So a lot of people will be like, oh, it's Mercury. Well, it could be Uranus too. The sun and Uranus are going to be together, and there might be a lot of financial instability announcements around this particular thing right now. There could be earthquakes, there could be volcanic activity, an increase this week, really. We would have been feeling this over the weekend and even into this week. Now, it's not going to last for a long time, but it's definitely going to be the majority of the week where those two are going to be hanging out together. So if you have any Taurus in your astrological chart, or if your birthday is this week or around this time, you will be at ground zero and you will be feeling that energy right in the line of fire there. So Uranus is a destabilizer, okay? So if you think of earthquakes, right? I mean, that's like this. It can also affect the nervous and the electrical system of the body. So if you think about neuralgias, if you think about migraine headaches, if you think about heart palpitations or arrhythmias, seizure activity, muscle spasms, any kind of thing like that, Uranus can affect that. And the biggest thing that I see Uranus affects is anxiety. So anybody who's prone to anxiety already, that's kind of what this does. It makes us feel a little bit like we're on edge, and also just like what's happening. I don't know. I feel kind of weird. That's a very Uranus. Now, sudden weird things can happen, and when we say it's the wild card, that's because sudden good things can happen, but sudden bad things can happen too. It's really the wild card in astrology. So I can't say, oh, this is going to be good for everybody and bad for everybody. First of all, I can't really say that anyway, because everybody has their own astrological chart, and everybody's astrological chart is unique to them. I always say astrology charts to me look like snowflakes, because everybody's got some kind of thing going on in their astrological chart that's different. Even twins. I've seen twins that were born 20 minutes apart even, and they have very different astrological alignments. So it's pretty cool how astrology works. So anyway, so we have this, and so there could be some shocks, some unexpected events. Now, I always say you could unexpectedly win the lottery, and that would be a fun surprise, right? But it can also be unexpected other things. Now with Taurus, we are thinking about monetary and financial for sure. And that's something that we want to keep in mind with Taurus. And so that's the big energy coming this week. And like I said, it is going to be tomorrow on Tuesday at 3:56 p.m. Eastern time is the peak or the height or the maximum. I always say it's like climbing Mount Everest. You climb all the way to the top of the mountain, and then you're at the top, and then after that, we go down the mountain, but it's still going to be active. It's just starting to sort of spread apart and dissipate. Like I said, this happens once a year. It's happening once a year our whole lives. And so it is something that we want to kind of just, I always say the key word with any kind of Uranus transit is flexibility. Like kind of lean into it, just be flexible, try not to fly off the handle, and because it can just be, and it can be accidents. So please take your time, and please, just go slow. Everybody else might be moving fast and erratically, like, the sky is falling. You want to kind of move through things and just be slow and deliberate and take your time. Yes. Oh, this is wonderful. Wendy said she has Taurus in her second house of money. You must have Aries rising, Wendy. Big money show. Big show this weekend. That could be good though. You said, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, you might end up making a lot of money there, Wendy. That could be a really good thing. Unexpected, right? So it could be unexpectedly a bust or unexpectedly wonderful and getting lots of incoming abundance. So we want to program it for incoming abundance, lots of beautiful abundance, okay, coming into our lives. Because you are the trust fund of the universe, and you're here to receive, so why not? So if you have any money anxieties right now, that can also be exacerbated too, and so that can be a thing that comes up. But freaking out about money doesn't bring more money. Just gonna say that. In fact, it almost is like spraying yourself with money repellent. Okay, if you freak out, it keeps the money away. So it's something that we want to keep in mind. Now, there is, so the rest of the week is kind of quiet. The moon, we start the week off tonight, 7:33 p.m., went into Capricorn. And so the moon's going to be in Capricorn all the way until Wednesday night. And then it's going to go at 10 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to go into Aquarius. So we have Capricorn, Aquarius, and even Pisces this week. The moon is going to be going through all three of those signs. So if you are a Capricorn, Aquarius, or Pisces, you will be feeling this you'll get that little monthly boost. I always say the moon goes through each sign every 2.5 days, 2.5 days, 2.5 days, for a total of 28 days. 28 days is the same as a female cycle, right? For menstruating and ovulation. That's why it used to be called the woman's moon cycle. Okay. And so every 2.5 days, the moon changes signs. So you will feel every month you get like a little boost in your whatever, if you are Capricorn or Aquarius or whatever it is, whatever your sign is every month. So those three signs are going to have the moon you're going to have the moon visiting. And then on Monday, it'll be back in Aries. And then that's the new lunar month is Aries. So that's going to be on Monday, the 15th. So let's talk about Friday, because other than this Sun conjunct Uranus, which is a big thing. I mean, I don't want to make that seem like it's nothing. There's mostly just lunar transits and minor planetary transits, but the big action happens on Friday, and that is Friday, May 12th, 2023. And so we have two mercurial transits that day. We have Mercury is going to sextile Saturn, and then Mercury is going to sextile Venus. So we have two Saturn and Venus are going to be highlighted by Mercury, and this is thinking, talking, communicating. Now we are right at the end. As we get into the weekend, we're right at the end of Mercury retrograde. And so Mercury might be acting up a little bit. Now with Saturn and with connection to Venus, now these are sextiles. Sextiles in astrology are positive. They're mild. They're considered to be mild. And also, if you, it can be opportunity comes to you that you need to kind of make action on in order to bring it to fruition. So that's coming on this Friday. Again, Mercury is in Taurus. It's going to form a sextile to Saturn in Pisces. And then Mercury in Taurus is going to sextile Venus in Cancer. And so both of those are water signs. Earth is Taurus, and Saturn, Pisces, and Venus, Cancer are water. So earth and water love each other, okay? So it's not mud. But think about the earth needing to have, lots of rain and mist and, all that. The earth loves that. And so that's where a lot of things grow. And so that can be a growth opportunity. Now, you're probably like, but Gretchen, wait, it's Mercury retrograde. It is, but like I said, this Mercury retrograde technically was a little more mild than some of the other retrogrades, though some of you might say, no, it wasn't mild for me. But even in my client world, usually I'm getting like tons and tons of 911 calls. I haven't as much this time around. And I think it's because Mercury has been highlighted in a positive way through this retrograde. So it's not to say that it's devoid of any problems. It's just that when you rank like from the worst ever retrograde to it's really more mild of a retrograde this time. Anybody else notice that it's been a little bit more mild for them? I don't know. My clients haven't been really too activated this time around, and a lot of times they are. So I don't know. You guys will have to let me know. So those things happen. So this could be opportunity in the business world and in the love world on Friday. And I know I'm not saying to start a whole bunch of new things, but what if you put a pin on it and then start it on Monday, after the retrograde's over, because it's just going to be over on Mother's Day on the 14th. It's already going to be coming out of the retrograde. So that's good news. And then also on Friday, this is where it gets complicated. At 10:28 a.m. Eastern time, we have the second chance full moon. Okay. And so we basically have the second chance full moon. Somebody just asked about when the next new moon is. The next new moon is going to be coming on Friday, May 19th. So we're not yet. We just had the full moon, my dear. We just, full moon just happened on Friday. So now this coming Friday, every Friday here, and except for the last week on Saturday, we're going to have some kind of big lunar event. And so the May 5th on Friday. I feel like I'm having trouble talking tonight. It's kind of interesting. Maybe there might be somebody that's watching that's having problems with communication, because I almost feel like it's not coming from me. It's really weird. And sometimes this happens when spirit is here. So I just want to kind of pause, and I'm sorry, I don't usually do this during my live broadcasts. But I almost feel like as if there's somebody that is like that wants to contact a viewer that's watching tonight, where they're having trouble speaking, talking. They could have had a tracheotomy or some kind of thing where they were incapacitated in some way that they weren't able to speak, maybe from a stroke or some kind of a thing. But I almost feel like as if there's spirit is with me, and kind of because I almost feel like as if they're kind of trying to take over while I'm speaking. So if anybody knows anybody, I almost feel like there's something with the throat. So if anybody knows somebody that passed away that had like a trach or some kind of a thing that bothered their jaw or something from passing away, if that's you, please message. You don't have to do it live if you don't feel comfortable, but definitely message me, because I'm interested to see, because I almost feel like it's not coming from me. It feels like it's coming through me. And so sometimes that happens. Susan said, yes, that was somebody that you know. I just want you to know that that person's probably trying to contact you, and we're not into the question portion yet of the broadcast, but I had to stop because I was getting interrupted by what I feel was spirit, because it didn't feel like it was me. It feels like as if it's somebody that was trying to say hi. I'm a physical medium, a psychic medium, which means that I experience things on a physical level where they affect me and they affect my body. So spirit sometimes can sort of do that. I will feel what they were feeling or experiencing as if it was in my body. And the interesting thing is, ever since I just said it, it's releasing, and I'm having an easier time now speaking. Sometimes that happens. It's like they just want to like, hello, just say it. And they kind of bother me until I say it, and then it releases. And so it's like, okay, so I'm going to talk to you in a minute, Susan. I'm glad you were on the broadcast tonight, because I really feel like as if it's like almost like my mouth couldn't even move. It was really weird feeling. Sorry, everybody. Sometimes spirit likes to talk, and spirit just came through. And so I hope that helps. So when we get into Friday, we have the second chance full moon that is happening. So now we're halfway between the last full moon, which was on last Friday, May 5th, and then this Friday coming up on May 12th, we have the second chance full moon, and then the next new moon is coming on the 19th. So we're halfway through the full moon and new moon. Full moon means we're releasing, we're letting go, we are wrapping something up. And what we do during the second chance full moon is we continue that work. We continue the purging, letting go, wrapping up. So if there was something that last week you had to let go of, because it was the full moon and lunar eclipse and full moon in Scorpio, all three of those things are about letting go of something, releasing something so that we can bring something new in during the new moon coming. That basically is something that we're going to be working on this Friday, and it's going to be taking place in Aquarius. So I know a lot of Aquariuses are out there watching tonight, or people that have Aquarius in their chart. Again, that's going to be on Friday at 10:28. So the sun is going to be in Taurus, and then the moon is going to be in Aquarius. Now, those are fixed signs. And we just had the Scorpio full moon in Scorpio, which is also a fixed sign. So some of this is about fixed, is exactly what it sounds like. I always say fixed signs. Think of an oak tree. Okay, think of a solid 100-year, old oak tree. It's big and beautiful and grand. Um, it's there, it's built to last. That's what fixed signs are meant to do. They're the space holders of the zodiac. Fixed signs are the good old reliable ones. They say what they're gonna do, and then that's it. They don't deviate from that plan unless they change their own mind. That's the key word with fixed signs is stubborn. That the key word is stubborn. I'm sorry to say that, but really it's about being fixed. Okay. So it's that fixed nature. And so we're holding down the fort, okay, with this fixed signs. And that's basically what the deal is with an oak tree. Think about something that's solid. If you think about mutable signs, mutable is bending. Okay, so I always say, like, think of a palm tree. Okay, bends over, hurricane comes through, whoosh, bends over, and then boing, like just back up to normal palm tree, whatever it does. But oak trees, if a hurricane comes, that thing can break. So we have to make sure that we learn to bend. All fixed signs have to learn to bend, okay? And so mutable signs have to learn how to be a little bit more fixed. I mean, we all have to learn something. That's the way it is in astrology. We all have to learn. And of course, cardinal signs have to learn not to boss everybody around. That is, oh, maybe me. I'm a cardinal sign. So basically that's what the deal is. So we're in the fixed signs right now. We are in Taurus season. That is a fix that means we're in the heart of springtime. That's what Taurus season is. So Taurus likes to be kind of like solid and steady and a little bit more somewhat old-fashioned or like built to last. But Aquarius likes to think outside the box and likes to think differently. And those two could clash right now a little bit on the second chance full moon. So that's coming on Friday at 10:28 p.m. Now, if you forgot, okay, to burn or destroy your new moon manifestation list, that's your second chance to do so. So on Friday, you can burn or destroy your list at any time on or after 10:28 a.m. Eastern time. That's Eastern time zone. The next day, even, it's kind of interesting on the 13th. Somebody was saying they had big plans coming this weekend on the 12th, 13th, and 14th. It's quite lovely, actually. The energy this weekend is pretty lovely. And there could definitely be, some good energy because Mercury, like I said, is sextiling Saturn and also Venus. And then on Saturday, Venus is going to trine Saturn. So see, Mercury, okay, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, Saturn. They're all forming a beautiful sort of alignment with each other. And so there could be definitely love, business. This is good for business. This is good for talking and communicating, even though Mercury is retrograde. This could be good for, increased flirtation and all that. Oh, somebody put their daughter's senior prom is going to be. Okay, so that could be all good stuff for this. And then of course, overnight between Friday and Saturday, the moon moves into romantic Pisces at 12:39 a.m. Eastern time on the 13th. So even as we go into that romantic Pisces over the weekend, Pisces is good for romance, dancing, music. So somebody's prom, it's perfect time. And somebody else on here said that they have a business thing that this weekend that could be very good. That could be lucrative and beneficial. So all of that is very good stuff, especially as we move away from that Sun conjunct Uranus. That's kind of the hard one. That's the hard spot. And like I said, it's coming tomorrow, so we'll get over that quickly and move on. But Sun conjunct Saturn, Uranus can really throw a monkey wrench into the works here. And then on Mother's Day, the 14th, there's going to be a lovely, I think it's so fitting for Mother's Day. The sun in Taurus is going to form a trine with Ceres in Virgo. So remember, Ceres, the nickname of Ceres is the Great Mother. So, oh my goodness, we're celebrating the Great Mother, whether it's your mom, your stepmom, your adoptive mom, your mom you grew up with, grandmoms, any kind of thing like that. When we celebrate the women in our life, even if it was a contentious situation, we can celebrate some mom, even if you're a fur mom mom. I unfortunately was not able to have children in my life, but I have tons of fur babies, and I definitely consider myself a fur mom. And I celebrate, you know, because I do think that it's something that's important anytime us women are caretaking and nurturing. So that's a beautiful thing. Sun Trine Ceres on Mother's Day. That's coming to a height or a peak at almost 11 p.m. that night on Mother's Day. And then at 11:17 p.m. Eastern time, that's when Mercury goes direct. So Mercury retrograde on Sunday is going to be over. Woohoo! Okay, so that's our present that we're giving to moms, I guess. Mercury will no longer be retrograde. And so that'll be 8:17 p.m. if you live out on the West Coast, that Mercury will be direct on the West Coast at 8:17 p.m. and 11:17 p.m. Now, I always give you guys the time so you know exactly. You can write it on. I have people that take notes during my broadcast or that write things down, if you want to write it down in your calendar or whatever. But remember to give it a few days, okay? Remember that the car, okay, doesn't go 90 miles an hour and throw it in reverse and then go, you know, throw it forward and then go forward. It has to slow down and stop. And then it slows down and then it stops. And then it goes forward again. And okay, so it takes, give it a week or so just to kind of, now if you have something pressing that you have to do, yeah, go ahead and do it anytime from the 15th or after, go ahead. But I would say, like if you've been waiting for it to end and you're like, I have to do this thing like ASAP, then just go ahead and go for it. But remember, it does usually take a little time to kind of, you know, change direction and move forward. So I think it is something that is going to be good and positive. Just give it a couple of days. And then next week, when we talk about next week, we have a lot, there's a lot. It's kind of interesting. This is almost like the creamy, delicious center of the Oreo cookie, because last week was super busy. And then next week is super busy. But this week is kind of, okay. So if you have something to do that's more mild and stuff this week, we're going to just finish up all your Mercury retrograde stuff. Okay. File away your files. Okay. Clean out your closet, do all the Mercury retrograde stuff, because next week is busy. Jupiter is going to be moving into Taurus. Okay. That's huge, big news. Then Jupiter is going to form a square with Pluto. There's going to be a lot of tension building up into next week. And unfortunately, that could be a shadow that we're feeling, and you know, behind the scenes. I know there's been a lot of shootings on the news recently and things like that. Oh gosh, Jupiter square Pluto, oof, those two, that's that. So, and they're square right now. I mean, those two are big outer planets. So that's even the big news this month, okay, is that planetary transit. That's gonna be on the 17th. And then we have on the 19th, the new moon coming, and that's going to be in Taurus. So hopefully we will have lovely new moon, because that Jupiter Pluto thing, that's not good. And that can be bad for finances too. Stock market, I kind of feel like stock market stuff is going to be going on in this next week or two. That's going to be dippity-doo, you know. It's going to be up and down. So we have a more calm week. So if anybody has any questions, I know a couple people, Sarah said that she thought maybe her relative was coming in or coming through. And then somebody else said that unfortunately the chat moves fast and I can't always go back. But somebody said something about their father had a stroke and passed away. And I was wondering if they are on the broadcast still. But I am taking questions. If anybody has any questions, definitely Susan, if you're on still, I'd like to speak, like if you want to comment. And if anybody has any questions. And also make sure you stay till the end. There's always messages whenever I answer questions for other people. Hearing the answer a lot of times resonates with other people too. So Rita said, I will take that gift of Mercury turning direct on Mother's Day. Yay. That's a wonderful thing. Liz said her dad had a stroke and his speech and throat were affected. Did he have any kind of tube or breathing tube? Yeah, okay, Wendy said something about Liz also. Did he have any kind of, because I really feel like as if there was like a tube or a throat kind of issue. Um, it's not to say it's not your dad, but I'm not sure. Let me see. Was it her dad? Swallowing in speech. Yeah, I mean, I felt like as if like I couldn't even like talk for a minute there, and it was very uncomfortable. Let me connect and see what your dad, if he has anything to say to you tonight, if he comes through. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, especially if he was the one that was trying to get my attention. What was the deal with your dad? I am having lung issues right now. I'm having trouble breathing. So I don't know. I feel like, did he have any kind of thing with the, okay, see, Susan keeps saying yes, she did. Thank you. Okay, Liz, I actually feel like your dad is here too, but I think the person that was trying to get through was Susan's person, because she said she, and it felt female to me, and she did have a tube or some kind of a breathing thing. That's what I was feeling. But Liz, I'm going to come back to you because I feel like your dad has something to say. But Liz, Suzanne, who is this person that came through relation to you? Because it feels like it was a woman, and it was very frustrating to her that she could not communicate. I will just say that. It felt awful that she went through that. Oh, your aunt. Okay. She's a very forceful lady. I'm just pulling cards to see if there's anything she wanted to say. Oh, she's talking about, there was a lot of stuff that happened with her. And I do feel like as if there was a lot of, I hate to say this, like it wasn't like, it was rough at the end for her. I feel like she kind of went through, and I feel like she wants to come out and talk, because I also feel like as if she wants you to know that she's not suffering anymore, that she's in a safe place, that she was on the other side, and that she's okay. Like, it's like, don't remember me like that, remember me like this. Because I feel like there was a long, like, it doesn't feel like it was just one thing and then she, unfortunately passed away. Like, I feel like as if she like kind of suffered, while she was here. She was very stubborn, she said. And so she feels like as if she really fought a lot. There was a lot of tenacity to her. Let me just see. Yeah, she was trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. That's the cards I'm getting, and there was a lot of frustration around it. She had to go. Yeah, I feel like as if like it was almost one of those things, like when people said that when she passed away, it was like almost like a blessing, kind of feeling. And that's how she felt. Like she was over on the other side. There was people on the other side too. Like I will say this, Suzanne, you might have lost a lot of people in your family, because I feel like your aunt is surrounded by a lot of other people. Sometimes I get this when there's a lot of deceased or crossed over loved ones, or if she had like a lot of siblings, or she had a lot of extended family, because there's like a lot of people. It's very crowded over there. And she's like, look, family reunion. Like she it is showing me that, I think, because she wants you to know that she's like, there's a lot of her saying that she wants you to know she's okay. Like she just keeps saying that. So if you have any kind of loved one that is still here, that knows her, you might want to even play this recording for them, because she really wants you to know that she's okay. Like, it's like, don't remember me like that. Don't remember me about the speaking thing, and about like how, because it just feels like it was really a lot, and it was ugly. I'm just going to say it. It was not a fun thing. So I feel like with her, it's like, look, I'm free, because she was spunky and she was quite spicy when she was here. And she had a tenacity. I mean, I almost feel like she was like a pit bull. Like she had a tenacity to her that she was able to fight as long as she did. Because it feels like it was not a good, and I don't know if you can even hear it, like my throat's getting dry even talking to her. Like I'm feeling like it's like it was just a lot. So yeah, it is interesting because I do feel like as if there might have been I don't know if she smoked or if there was some kind of thing that she did. Like I kind of feel like as if there was like either environmental cause or smoking or some kind of a thing. It feels like a chemical or like something also that was involved with that. Might have even been a medicine, like a chemotherapy or something, but there was some kind of like polluted feeling around this as well. And so, yeah, so she wants you to know she's fine. And she, yeah. Oh, she was a nurse. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been hard for her to be a patient. We don't, I used to work in medical field, but we're not good patients. No. That is a thing. So, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So I hope that helps. Yeah, I hope that helps, Susan. Please share with your family, because she's okay. She really is okay. No smoking. Yeah, there's some kind of a thing that was polluted around. I can't tell if it was a chemical, a medicine, but it almost feels to me like when people take a lot of chemotherapy or if they have to take a lot of antibiotics or something, sometimes they have like a lot of just like a polluted chemical feeling around them. And so even if it was medicine to help her, that still is like a polluted feeling in her body. She didn't like it, whatever it was, she did not like it. So I just wanted you to let you know, because I feel like as if she really tried, she was very persistent with me tonight. So I have to honor spirit. I always do. Wendy said, would you ever do something about death and where we go, heaven and all? Yeah, of course. I can always talk about this at another time. Also, Liz, I want to talk about Liz. Because I mentioned smoking, and Liz, when I was talking about your dad, and there sometimes does that, it's like crossover, I call it crossover. I actually felt there was some kind of a breathing thing with him. You're welcome, Susan. Liz, I felt like there was a breathing thing with your dad, actually, when I was starting to dip into him. I know you said he had a stroke, but there was also a feeling of labored breath. I couldn't catch a breath, so he either had like emphysema, asthma, COPD, some kind of a thing where I feel like, or maybe he needed assisted breathing at the end there, Liz, but I really get like I know you said stroke, but I got like a heart lung feeling around him. Like there was a lot of, layers there that I kind of felt like were not very good, Liz. So I wanted you to know that I do feel like as if he feels like he's been crossed over for a little while now. I don't feel like it's new. I feel like he's been over there for a little while. He is funny though. Liz, I don't know if you're still on. I'm talking to you. If you can comment. Liz. Yeah, I do feel like as if, Liz, your dad is around you, okay? And it's very interesting because the way that I see him, I see his eyes, and his eyes have the type, his eyes were like he had a little mischief in his eyes, okay? He like, you kind of, I almost feel like as if, see, I can't, so yeah, I'm having trouble even with him. All these breathing issues, my goodness. Yes, he's been gone for 5 years now. Yeah, that makes sense, Liz. But he was funny. He has a little sense of humor, but sometimes I feel like you don't realize he's joking, like, but then he would give you that little twinkle with his eye, and then you knew, like, I feel like he had a little mischief in him. Yes, the Irish twinker. Yes, that's exactly what I kind of feel with him. He's funny. But but you might not know that he was funny until you knew him pretty well. Like you know, like there was like he was full of mischief in a way. But yeah, he does come around you, Liz. I don't think he was the person that I was contacting initially, but now that I call it open the file. See, I am smelling cigarette smoke right now. Somebody in here there's a cigarette smell. Did he ever smoke, Liz, or have a cigar or a pipe or any kind of a thing? Because I'm smelling some smoke, even if it was when he was younger. If you can comment on that, because I almost feel like that could be his calling card. It literally smells like something's on fire, which always makes me a little nervous when spirit does that. Cigar, yes. Yeah, you will actually be able to smell that. So when spirit can make us smell things. Spirit smell. And he smoked cigarettes when he was younger. Yeah. Spirit, you might actually smell him. And so when spirits have smells, sometimes it's perfume, sometimes it's cologne or favorite food or whatever it is, or ended up having everybody's commenting about deceased loved ones. I really do think that was for Susan. The message that was coming through, the female nurse that came through for Susan, but also Liz, I did answer because you were one of the initial people. This was a separate person. Your dad was not the one that affected me initially, but he is here and he's talking to me, and there's a lot of cigar smoke. So whenever spirit comes in, that you can literally smell them. And here's the thing. I have an impaired sense of smell. In fact, it's so impaired that if you compared it to eyesight, I would be legally blind in my nose, okay? Like I can't hardly smell anything ever, but I can smell spirit. And so if you have a person, what I call spirit, deceased loved one or relative or friend that comes through that used to smoke, you can sometimes smell them. And it won't make any sense. Nobody around you is smoking. There's no fire. There's nothing going on. And that's basically what happens. And so spirit will come through, and sometimes it smells so strong. Like it almost smelled like something was on fire. I'm like, because I have a really impaired sense of smell normally, but I can smell when spirit comes. It's really fascinating. I can't smell every day, but like when that happens, I know it's spirit because it's the only time I can smell. It's really a weird thing. So anyway, so I feel like, Liz, you will smell your dad. I feel like that's his calling card. And when they come in like that, they just say hi. I'm going to tell you guys kind of a funny story. Sometimes I talk. When I talk, I don't realize, like, I just talk like as the person that I am. And my mother, my stepfather passed away, and he was an avid smoker. And I was talking to my mom one day, and I just just blurted out. I was like, oh, you know how when, stepdad comes in and all of a sudden you smell cigarettes and blah, blah. And she was like, it was like when the record stops, like what? What did you just say, Gretchen? And I was like, yeah, like when you smell cigarette smoke, it's him. And she was like, no, tell me more. Well, here, she used to have in her old place that she used to work, she would smell cigarette smoke, and she always thought there was people outside smoking outside of the building. But then she started to realize she was smelling it at other times too. And she even got like an air purifier and all this kind of stuff to get rid of the smell because she didn't know. Here, it was my stepfather just saying hi. And she was like, well, what does he want? What should I do? Like, should I do anything? And I'm like, just talk to him. So when spirit comes, when you see a butterfly, or when you have a random thought about them, or you, see a cardinal, or whatever your sign or symbol or cigarette smell, or sometimes I've had clients that smelled alcohol, from people, spirit that, used to drink a little bit, they can smell alcohol. And so whatever it is, whatever their jam was, sometimes they'll use that as their calling. I call it the calling card. And their calling card is just they're saying hi. So I always say, you might want to just say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? It is like having a one-way conversation. And sometimes people say, well, I feel a little silly, or I feel, No, it's your loved one. They're just here to say hi. You know, we all growing up watched Nancy Drew and all the different, you know, it's like the ghost wants me to know something. Well, first of all, they're not a ghost. And second of all, they don't always want us to know something and here to, you know, bother us or tell us, you know, go look in the safe, you know, that kind of thing. And they're just saying hi. And they do that. They'll come in randomly like, hey, how you doing? Don't forget me. Spirit never wants us to be sad. Spirit doesn't want us to cry, be depressed. It's not to say you can't grieve. You can grieve for your deceased loved one, but they don't want us to stay stuck in the grief. They want us to be able to thrive and to move on, but they love to be remembered. Spirit always talks to me in sessions about being honored, having a medal, having a gravestone, having a special party, any kind of thing that we do. So they don't want to be forgotten. So if you're just in the middle of working today, I actually had a thing with my grandmother today, which she's been deceased ever since I was 12 years old for a very, very, very long time, but she came in and said hi today. So sometimes spirit will come in at random times and I was like, okay, grandma, hi, how you doing? You know, and I will outside, I also encourage my clients to speak their name, not in a like, oh, you know, so sad, because they don't want us to be sad, but just in a remembering like, oh my gosh, remember when so-and-so did this or this, you know? And so that's just another way that we can remember them and that we can honor them. And we, each and every one of us have things like that. Wendy said you've been randomly smelling cigarettes around you for about 5 months now. Well, there might be a deceased loved one, spirit, I call spirit, trying to say hi. So, and sometimes it is somebody that you knew, you know, that was like my stepfather. Oh my God, it was gross, but he had these ashtrays that were like, you know, like he was a smoker. So usually it's something that they do. So yeah. Wendy said, I just threw my grandmother a hug. There you go. Yeah, of course. They love us and they want us to know. So Liz, I wanted to connect you with your dad, and Susan, with your aunt. Your aunt was very strong. I mean, she interrupted my broadcast, which I'm always amazed by spirit. It's just what they can do and how they can, kind of contact us. And I know it's getting kind of late, but I just, I do want to say this. Spirit is around us always. You know, spirit can come in at any time. It's just that I can perceive them a little bit easier. Everybody can to some degree, but I just do it. I mean, this is what I do for a living. And so I always say spirit, sometimes we'll wait until I'm about to talk to somebody or whatever, and they'll like kind of come in and they'll like want to connect. That's because I can take the call. I can answer the call because I know the phone's ringing, right? And so everybody has the ability, like Wendy said, you know, she's had somebody hanging around with her for a while now, but she didn't even really put two and two together that was spirit. That was somebody trying to come in and say hi. And so it's hard because it's not like a billboard. Now, yes, sometimes spirit can be very tenacious, like your aunt Susan. Sometimes spirit can be very tenacious, but sometimes it's just like, hey, I'm here. I'm here, you know, and we don't sense it, or we're not getting the connection or whatever it is. And so sometimes spirit will come in during sessions and whatever and interrupt and want to say hi. And that's just because I can take the call. I'm just somebody who has a little bit more sensitivity that, I'm able to perceive it just a little bit, but I feel that everybody can, if you're open to it. Now, I'm talking about spirit, by the way. Spirit is somebody who's deceased and crossed over. I'm not talking about ghosts. That's a whole separate topic for another night, which we can always do. I'll see you guys again every Monday night here. I'm here for my broadcast. So I'll see you guys again. By the way, if you guys haven't done it yet, please like my YouTube channel, because I am trying to grow my following for YouTube. It's very important to me. 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And for those of you who did like my YouTube channel, thank you so much. And recommend me to a friend or two. I had a client of mine. I don't know if she's watching tonight, but she said she was going to recommend me to every two people. Like if 2 people could just recommend me, then I would have my 1,000 subscribers. And so yay! So if this helped you, make sure you give it a like, and make sure that you go to my YouTube channel and like that too. too. Now I'm going to do a collective card. Okay, for the week, we have a lot going on this week, but not as much as we usually do. We had Venus move into the astrological sign of Cancer yesterday. Tomorrow on Tuesday, we have the Sun forming a conjunction with Uranus. Friday, we have the big second chance full moon, and we have all those wonderful Mercury, Venus, Saturn, oh my, okay, like coming together, business, communication, and love. And then on Sunday, Mercury retrograde ends. Yay! So all you mothers out there for Mother's Day, what do we need to know about all this astrological energy? What's the most helpful thing the angels or spirit guides and guardians can give to us here in order for us to know how to handle this energy here on the earthly plane? Oh, yay. Well, I happen to know we have a lot of creative people. You have confidence in your creations. Okay, this is Archangel Gabriel. Have confidence in your creations. I'm going to pull another card too. I'm going to use a different deck. Uh-oh, I just got the warning that I'm about to lose my, there we go. All right, had to do a quick plug-in. Have confidence in your creations, Archangel Gabriel. Trust in the power of God's creativity, which is being manifested through you. So I happen to know a lot of creatives are out there, but you don't have to just be, it just doesn't have to be creative. Maybe you have an accounting idea or an idea for, you know, reorganizing your shed. Creation and creativity comes in many forms. It can come from painting a picture, yes, but it can also come from making a meal or, you know, having a creative solution in your life. And so you are being downloaded and guided this week. And that makes sense because of all that Mercury and Venus energy. For sure. And then I want to pull one more card from a different deck, my Saints and Angels deck. Have confidence in your children, creations. Maybe she changed it. Have confidence in your creations. Yes. I read a card for you a few weeks ago and we were spot on. Car issues. Oh no, sorry, Sylvia. All right, so I'm going to pull one more. What do we need to know for, let me ask, what do the moms need to know for Mother's Day, or people out there with moms, or that you're celebrating, or maybe processing things about? Blessings and abundance. There you go. These are two very good cards. Like I told you, this week is going to be, I think, a little more mild. Have confidence in your creations, blessings and abundance. And this is a guardian angel card, okay, for those of you on YouTube that to see. But basically, that's what the deal is. Blessings of abundance. Welcome blessings in our life. Sometimes we push our blessings away. Like somebody, like let's say a friend asks you to go out to lunch and says, I got the bill, I'm going to pay the bill. We go, no. Just say yes. And have gratitude. Have gratitude for our blessings, because we have blessings sometimes all around us, and sometimes we miss our blessings because we're so embarrassed, or we're not, you know, we don't have the confidence or whatever it is. Kelly said, oh yes, your children are your creation. Of course. Yes. I get that. I get that for sure. Yeah. Oh, Melinda, you're welcome. You answered a question that's perplexed you for 40 years. Holy cow. How amazing. Such an amazing, informative, and wonderful broadcast, she said. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for that. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, a wonderful Mother's Day, however you choose to celebrate, and definitely a celebration of Mercury retrograde being over. So thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. And again, if you can recommend me to 2 of your friends for my broadcasts, that would be awesome. All right. Mwah, namaste. Lots of love to you all. Bye.